It happens on a Sunday afternoon. The house is clean. The laundry is folded. You have finished every task on your to-do list. You have technically earned the right to stop. So, you sit down on the couch. You try to watch a movie. You try to read a book. But within 3 minutes, a physical sensation starts to creep in. It starts in your chest, a tightness. Then it moves to your legs, a restless twitch. It's a low-level hum of anxiety, an electric current running just beneath your skin that says, "Get up. You are forgetting something. You shouldn't be sitting here." You check your phone. You check your email. You get up to wipe a counter that is already clean. You reorganize a drawer that didn't need organizing. And you tell yourself, "I'm just productive. I'm just high energy. I'm just driven." But deep down, you know that isn't true, because driven feels like excitement. This feels like fear. This feels like you are outrunning something invisible. You look at other people, your partner, your friends, and you watch them nap without apology. You watch them spend an entire Saturday doing absolutely nothing, and they don't seem to be spiraling into self-hatred. And you wonder, how do they do that? Why does doing nothing feel like I'm committing a crime? Here is the truth you've been avoiding. You don't struggle to rest because you are a workaholic. You don't struggle to rest because you are type A. You struggle to rest because for you, resting feels dangerous. Your inability to stop is not a personality trait. It is a trauma response. Specifically, it is a symptom of hypervigilance. At some point in your history, likely when you were very small, your nervous system learned a brutal lesson. Safety is not guaranteed. Peace is temporary. And if I let my guard down, even for a second, things will fall apart. So, you developed a mechanism to stay safe. You stayed busy. You stayed useful. You stayed alert. And now, 20 years later, you are an adult who is structurally incapable of turning the engine off because your brain still believes that off means vulnerable. Today, we are going to look at the 3 psychological reasons why your body rejects rest and how you can finally teach your nervous system that it is safe to exhale. The first reason you feel guilty when you rest is physiological. It's not in your head, it's in your wiring. Your nervous system has mistaken chaos for safety. Let's go back to the environment you grew up in. Was it unpredictable? Maybe you had a parent with a volatile temper. One minute they were laughing, the next they were screaming. Maybe there was financial stress, and you could feel the tension radiating off your parents like heat. Maybe you had to walk on eggshells to avoid triggering someone's addiction, depression, or rage. In that environment, you learned that calm was a lie. You learned that silence wasn't peaceful. It was the calm before the storm. It was the moment the tide pulled back before the tsunami hit. So, your child brain adapted. It upregulated your nervous system. It turned your internal threat detection system to high and snapped the knob off. You became hyper-aware of footsteps, tones of voice, closing doors. You were always ready to fight, flee, or freeze. This is called hypervigilance. It is a state of chronic physiological arousal. Now, fast forward to today. You are in a safe apartment. You have a stable job. No one is screaming. But when you try to rest, when the external world finally goes quiet, your internal alarm system starts blaring. Why? Because to a hypervigilant nervous system, silence is suspicious. When you sit down to relax, your brain says, "Wait, it's too quiet. Something is wrong. We are exposed." If we are sitting down, we can't dodge the attack that is surely coming. The guilt you feel isn't actually guilt. It is anticipatory anxiety. You are waiting for the other shoe to drop. And because the other shoe isn't dropping, your brain creates a problem to solve just to return to a baseline of stress. You create urgency where there is none. You obsess over a typo in an email sent 3 days ago. You suddenly decide the garage needs to be cleaned right now. You are manufacturing chaos because chaos feels familiar. Chaos feels like home. You are addicted to your own stress hormones, cortisol and adrenaline, because without them, you feel numb, or worse, unsafe. You have been running a marathon for 20 years, and when you finally stop running, your body doesn't say thank you. It says, "Why did we stop? The predator is still chasing us." So, you get back up. You start cleaning. You start working. Not because you want to, but because moving feels safer than being still. The second reason cuts deeper into your identity. It is the belief that love is a transaction. Somewhere along the line, you internalized a deadly equation. I am only worthy as long as I am useful. Let's look at the good child. Were you the child who was praised for being low maintenance? Were you the one who fixed things? Were you the one who mediated arguments between your parents? Maybe you noticed that your parents' eyes only really lit up when you achieved something, when you brought home the A+, when you won the trophy, when you cleaned the kitchen without being asked. In those moments, moments, you received affection, you received validation, you received a temporary sense of safety. But in the moments when you were just being, when you were watching TV, playing, or doing nothing, you were either ignored, criticized for being lazy, or treated as a burden. You learned that unconditional love was a myth. You learned conditional love. You learned that you have to pay rent for your existence, and the currency you pay with is productivity. This is why, as an adult, resting feels like stealing. When you sit on the couch, you feel like an employee who is slacking off while the boss is watching. You feel like you are taking up space without paying for it. The guilt is a voice from your childhood whispering, if you aren't doing something useful, why would anyone keep you around? This is why you are the friend who always plans the trips. This is why you are the partner who does 80% of the housework but says, it's fine. This is why you over-deliver at work and never take your vacation days. You are terrified that if you stop doing, people will realize there is no value in your being. You are trying to secure your place in the tribe by making yourself indispensable. And rest? Rest threatens that entire structure. Rest forces you to confront the terrifying question, if I am not useful, who am I? If you strip away the job title, the accolades, the perfectly clean house, and the responsible reputation, is there enough of you left to be loved? Your guilt is a defense mechanism protecting you from that question. It keeps you on the treadmill so you never have to find out if the answer is no. And now, the third reason. This is the one most people never admit to themselves. You don't want to rest because busyness is your numbing agent. We live in a culture that glorifies the grind. But for you, the grind isn't about ambition. It's about anesthesia. As long as you are moving, you don't have to feel. As long as your mind is occupied with a to-do list, it doesn't have the bandwidth to process the ancient grief living in your chest. As long as you are exhausted, you are too tired to be sad. But what happens when you stop? What happens when you turn off the podcast, put down the phone, and sit in total silence? The thoughts you have been outrunning catch up to you. The loneliness seeps in. The memories of that childhood neglect bubble up. The realization that you are unhappy in your relationship or your career floats to the surface. Rest removes the distraction. It opens the floodgates. For the hypervigilant person, rest is not relaxing. Rest is an encounter with the self. And for you, the self is a painful place to be. You feel guilty for resting, yes, but beneath the guilt is avoidance. You are avoiding the backlog of unprocessed emotions that you have been storing in your body for decades. You are afraid that if you actually slow down, you might fall apart. You are afraid that if you let yourself cry, you will never stop. You are afraid that if you acknowledge how tired you really are, how bone deep the exhaustion goes, you will never be able to get back up and perform again. So you stay busy. You keep the noise level high. You keep the schedule packed. You treat your life like a shark. If you stop swimming, you will drown. But the tragedy is, you are drowning anyway. You are drowning in motion. You are burning out your adrenals, ruining your sleep, and straining your relationships, all to avoid sitting in a room with your own ghost. If you have watched this far, and if your chest feels tight because I am describing your life, I want you to take a breath. I want you to hear this. You are not broken. You are a survivor. Your inability to rest is not a character flaw. It is a biological adaptation that saved you when you were small. It kept you safe. It got you noticed. It helped you survive an environment where just being wasn't enough. But you are not in that environment anymore. The war is over. You are still wearing the armor, carrying the weapon, and scanning the horizon for enemies. But the field is empty. It is time to put the weapon down. And I know how terrifying that sounds. I know that just relax sounds like impossible advice. So don't try to go from 100 to 0. Do not try to force yourself into a Zen meditation retreat. Your nervous system will revolt. Start small. Start by proving to your inner child that safety and stillness can exist in the same room. Sit on the couch for 2 minutes without your phone. Just 2 minutes. Feel the anxiety rise. Feel the itch to get up. And then speak to it. Say to yourself, I am safe. The house is not on fire. No one is yelling. I am allowed to be here. You have to manually teach your brain that the tiger isn't coming. You have to separate your worth from your work. You are not a machine designed for output. You are a human being designed for experience. You do not have to earn your rest. Rest is not a reward for finishing your work. It is a biological requirement for being alive. You breathe in, you breathe out. You work, you rest. It is a rhythm, not a transaction. The people who truly love you, the ones who deserve to be in your life, do not love you for how useful you are. They love you for who you are. They want you rested. They want you present. They want you here, not just your labor. And as for the emotions that come up when you stop, let them come. Let the grief come. Let the exhaustion come. It won't kill you. In fact, Feeling it is the only way to release it. The only way out is through. You have spent your entire life holding up the sky. You have spent your entire life making sure everyone else is okay. It is time to let the sky hold itself for a while. It is time to look at that little version of you, the one who is still frantically trying to be good, still frantically trying to be useful, and tell them the one thing they have been waiting a lifetime to hear. You have done enough. You can stop running now. You get to rest.